Hey guys, Dustin here, and welcome to another episode of Horroritis. As you can tell today, this is going to be an audio-only episode because due to reasons, I can't get in front of the green screen and put my ugly mug on camera. But if you tune in the next video, I promise my ugly face will be back there for you to see, and we will be taking a deep dive into all of the Hellraiser movies, and I mean all of them. However, today we're going to have a look at 3 Thai movies and why you should watch them. So sometimes you stumble upon a group of actors who mesh together so well that you almost can't imagine one without the rest. In Hollywood, that usually leads to the group of actors playing different characters throughout several movies without actually portraying any different characters. The most prominent example being Chris Farley and David Spade in Tommy Boy and then again in Black Sheep. I don't know if this happens in the Thai film industry as often, but it does happen, and I'd like to go over one such example and why you should check out the 3 movies it affects. Just a heads up before we get too deep into it, I cannot pronounce Thai names, and I'm not even going to try. So in 2008, a horror anthology called Phobia was released. It contains 4 stories from 4 different filmmakers, and I watched this maybe a year or 2 after it was made, and at that point, it was one of the better anthologies that I had seen. A story about a lonely girl texting with a stranger only to come to a terrifying realization. A story about black magic and vengeance. A story about a flight attendant who's forced to fly in an empty airplane with a dead body. These are all very good stories, but the one that stands out was called In the Middle. And it's about a group of friends who go camping and have a kayaking accident, and then, well, it just kind of goes downhill from there. So, In the Middle was directed by this guy. And it starred these guys. Now, the thing that stands out the most about this segment, the thing that makes this segment stand out amongst the other segments, is how comfortable these guys seem to be with each other and how on point their comedic timing is, since this segment has a few comedy elements.
ใจสะดุ้งตื่นขึ้นมาแล้วภาพที่มันเห็นนะเว้ยเป็นผู้หญิงผีผู้หญิงเหรอนั่งอยู่ที่ปลายตีมันอะสวยปะวะก็สวยดีนะเว้ยแต่กูว่าน่าจะโอ้โหบ้ายังเล่าไม่จบเลยกี่ประเด็นแล้วมึงอะ
The chemistry was so strong that while watching, my wife wondered out loud if they had done any other movies together. And as it turns out, they had. This brings us to the sequel in 2009, Phobia 2. And this was another anthology from various Thai filmmakers. Again, another fantastic anthology with not a single bad story. But of these 5 segments in Phobia 2, we're just going to focus on the last one called In the End. Again, written and directed by the same guy as In the Middle, and starring the same 4 actors. This story is about a sick actress whose role is that of a ghost. This one also has strong comedic elements that usually fall to the group of 4 to deliver on, which they do. An interesting point is that the 4 actors portray the same characters, or at least keep the same character names. The 2 stories themselves don't seem to be connected in any way within the movie universes, and this point is only driven home in the 3rd movie. 2013's P Mok was released in Thailand. The same writer and director of In the Middle and In the End decided to take an old Thai ghost story about a woman who dies while waiting for her husband to come back from war. Only this time it's told from the perspective of the husband and his 4 friends, who just happen to be the same 4 guys we've been talking about. And again, even though this story is in no way connected to the other 2, they still continue to play the same characters, with this movie being set in 19th century Siam, while the first two were more present day movies. And despite that, they're still the same four actors playing the same four characters with the same names. The chemistry and timing is still perfect, and the addition of two new characters only add to the flavor of a well-balanced horror comedy. In fact, in an interview, the director said that he had decided to make a movie with these four characters long before he ever knew that the movie was going to be about this ghost story. And it's a very common ghost story in Thailand, is what I have learned. So this implies that he knew he had a good thing on his hands, and he knew he had to utilize it. Unfortunately, though, this is the last time we see the four act together. Some have moved on to TV shows, some have dropped off the map. Maybe they ended the gimmick on a high note before it could run its course and get stale, like some Adam Sandler movies. Maybe it's a good thing. Or maybe there should have been some sort of movie that tied everything together and shows that the seemingly unconnected stories were really all part of one bigger story. Now that is a movie I would gladly watch. So if you would like to check out any of these movies, Phobia 2 and PMOC are available on Netflix right now at the time of this recording. The first Phobia movie is not available on Netflix, but it is easily findable if you just search Google in the correct manner. I would highly recommend that anybody take a look at all three of these movies. And with the two anthology movies, make sure you watch all of the segments because every single segment is worth watching, especially the ones with our four characters here. So that's it for this video. If you liked it, hit the like button, subscribe. We're available on YouTube, Facebook, and BitChute. So do what you got to do to any one of those platforms that you choose to find us on. And like I said, next video, I'll be back with my ugly mug in front of a blue screen, and we'll be taking a deep dive into the Hellraiser franchise. I cannot wait to just pound my brain to death with some of those movies. But that's it for this video. So, as always, I'm Dustin. This was Horroritis. And until next time, keep it creepy.